All right, welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you, and it is official. The Philadelphia Eagles will take on the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans in 2 Sundays, and it is going to be a rematch of Super Bowl 57. The Chiefs at home, able to outlast the Buffalo Bills in taking down Buffalo 32-29. It was another classic between these two organizations that have now met multiple times in the playoffs in big spots and in AFC Championship games. The Chiefs, they take down Buffalo 32-29, and then Philadelphia dominating the Washington Commanders 55-23. Just some numbers from this Chiefs-Bills game. It was another classic Chiefs-Bills matchup where this game was decided on the margins. It was very close. These two teams exchanged punches, and then Buffalo had an opportunity to win this game late. And once again, they let that opportunity slip away, and the Kansas City Chiefs were able to take advantage. That is now 17 straight victories in one-possession games for Kansas City. They are so good, so composed, so clutch, cool, calm, and collected in these big spots. Mahomes tonight in the AFC title game, 18-26, 245 yards, 9.4 yards per completion, touchdown, no picks, a passer rating of 111.9. He also had a rushing touchdown, and Mahomes made some plays happen with his legs. He carried it 11 times for 43 yards and 2 touchdowns, in fact. Josh Allen played pretty well. 22-34, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He had a passer rating of 104.7. The Bills did find success running the football against Kansas City, a top 10 defense against the ground attack. The Bills ran it 32 times for 147 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. Both of those touchdowns scored by James Cook, who only had 13 carries for 85 yards. In hindsight, should the Bills have run it a little bit more? They started off that second half by running it a ton. In that first half, they were very Josh Allen reliant. And where this game was really decided, the Bills defense did a good job of holding the Chiefs to 3 points. That's what got the score, 32-29. It is the first time this year this Chiefs team has scored more than 30 points in a game. But then Buffalo gets the ball back with a few minutes to go, and Josh Allen picked up a first down with his legs. And then the next sequence, we get to a 4th down. You knew that Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo was going to draw up and call an exotic blitz. And you know what's coming in that spot. You know that Spags is going to get creative. Him and Vic Fangio, the 2 top defensive coordinators in football. And with the creativity with that blitz call, he sent pressure at Allen. There was an unblocked guy from the corner, and Allen had to run for his life, threw it up, and the tight end for Buffalo, Dalton Kincaid, on a little wobbler, Hail Mary type of throw, wasn't able to corral that football, fell incomplete. Chiefs get the ball back, about 2 minutes and change to go, or a little less than 2 minutes. The Bills had 3 timeouts, but this is what Andy Reid always does. Andy Reid, when other teams would just run it 3 straight times to milk out the clock, take their chances, maybe punt it away so that the other team has an opportunity, Andy Reid goes for the jugular. Andy Reid goes for the kill shot. And he called a passing play for Mahomes where he throws it to Samaje Perine. He's able to get the corner as he leaked out of the backfield as a running back. First down, Kansas City, ball game. Chiefs going for the 3-peat. And ring number 4 for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. When Tom Brady's career ended, you thought, nobody's ever going to chase Brady. Nobody's ever going to overtake his 7 Super Bowl championships. Well, if Mahomes and Reid win this game against Philadelphia, that's a 3-peat. That's ring number 4. And they still have a lot of football left in their coaching life for Andy Reid and the playing career of Patrick Mahomes. And what I want to accomplish on this show is just some things that immediately come to mind when I think about this Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl 59 matchup. The Chiefs finished the regular season 15-2. 12-0 in one-score games this year. They got the number 1 seed in the AFC. Home field advantage went through Kansas City, and they took advantage of the opportunity. Philadelphia, 14-3, number 2 seed in the NFC. And along the way, they beat Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, and Jaden Daniels. Now, can they behead the dragon and end the Chiefs' quest of a three-peat? I do think that this Eagles team this year is better, deeper, more well-coached, more well-rounded, more multiple than the team that we saw in the 2022 season. I think this Chiefs team is worse than they were that year. But when you play Kansas City, these games come down to the wire. They come down to one-possession games. These games are decided by the margins. And I'm talking turnovers, 3rd down, 4th down, in the red zone. Field goals missed, field goals made, extra points missed, extra points made. Special teams. The Chiefs are excellent with their special teams unit. And it comes down to Patrick Mahomes just making really clutch plays. And him and Andy Reid are just so lethal when the pressure cooker is on in crunch time. Now, I have a lot more that I want to get to here for our instant reaction video to the AFC Championship game, talking about this Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl and Super Bowl 59. Myself and producer Chip, we are traveling to New Orleans. We will be there. Great Super Bowl coverage. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're going to New Orleans and you want tickets to the big game, download the Game Time app. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with our friends at Game Time. They specialize in last-minute tickets because those prices drop as the event gets closer. Thanks to Game Time Picks, curation makes it easier to not have to sort through thousands of tickets. Instead, Game Time will give you seats with the best price point and the best vantage point. It's not just an app for sporting events. You can go to concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and a whole lot more. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Game Time has zone deals and flash deals. And I cover and talk about sports for a living, so sometimes I need to unplug a little bit, go to a concert, go to a comedy show, go to the Blue Man Group, and you can do that within the Game Time app. Be sure to toggle the all-in pricing tool. Therefore, you don't get hit with any surprise fees at checkout. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What time is it? Game time. So a few things stand out to me about this Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. In this game against Buffalo, Kansas City was so good in short yardage situations. Now, the Bills are one of the only other teams who can convert on quarterback sneaks as effectively and efficiently as the Eagles. They don't quite run the brotherly shove, but something close with Josh Allen, who's 6'6", 240. The Eagles in short yardage with Jalen Hurts, with Saquon Barkley, with Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson banged up. That could be a big element of this football game. Momentum turning plays, being able to convert on a 3rd or 4th down, being able to score or not score, or have to score 7 and score 3. And I expect this game to be close. And so, short yardage situations, the Chiefs are really good against quarterback sneaks. And so we'll see if the Eagles can efficiently use their secret weapon with the brotherly shove. And there's a reason why no other team across the NFL runs that play. This Chiefs offense, outside of Patrick Mahomes, is very meh. Kareem Hunt was getting the bulk of the carries in this game. He was used as RB1. Isaiah Pacheco doesn't quite have the same burst with that ankle injury he suffered earlier in the year. The receiver talent is really just okay. DeAndre Hopkins is big. He's a contested catch wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster, well past his prime. Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy are burners, and so that could cause the Eagles some trouble because the Chiefs do have offensive team speed. But this Eagles defense is the number 1 overall defense in the game because they're so good at the point of attack with their defensive line. Jalen Carter is an all-world talent. Nolan Smith has had a massive leap. Howie Roseman talked about how the Eagles drafted Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith because of their playing style and their ability to get to quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes. The Eagles drafted those players after they lost to Kansas City. And so Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, going to have big games once again. At that second level, Eagles are going to have to bring it. Zach Bond has been arguably the defensive player of the year this season. He's going to have his A game. He's going to be matched up against Travis Kelce. Oren Burks really struggled against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. He filled in for Dre Greenlaw, was targeted 9 times, gave up 9 catches, but I have to give him credit. Last 2 games, he's been really good for this Eagles team. Had the batted down pass against Matthew Stafford last week, had a forced fumble on Austin Eckler in this game on Sunday. And then the Eagles secondary, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, young players. Andy Reid is going to try to test those rookies and throw some creative stuff their way that they have never seen. And so they're going to have to hold up, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, they're going to have to do their job on the back end. And what I like about this Eagles team, Jalen Hurts is mobile. He was awesome against Washington. The Eagles put a lot on his plate. He succeeded. He accounted for 4 total touchdowns. He has 2 great wide receivers in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, an awesome tight end in Dallas Goedert, a really good offensive line. The Eagles' ground game, going to be key against Kansas City. Top 10 in yards per carry allowed, rushing yards allowed. But if Jalen Hurts can play like he did against Washington, if the Eagles can run it like they have all year, if they can win the turnover battle, and if they could get an interior pass rush on Patrick Mahomes and stop that run, which I don't think is that hard with Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, and they always have all eyes on Travis Kelce, and you keep in mind that wide receiver speed from Brown and Worthy, Vic Fangio has the ingredients to stop this Chiefs team. But will those ingredients lead to a tasteful recipe? Easier said than done because of how clutch, championship savvy the Chiefs are. And anytime you go up against Kansas City, you always know that the Zebras are going to give them some beneficial calls. This Chiefs red zone defense is also really good. And against Buffalo, they were good in the red area, and they were good on some 2-point conversions. The Chiefs defense, number 3 in points per game at 18.9, number 9 in yards per game, number 4 in points per play, 12th in yards per play, 29th on third downs, but 6th on fourth downs, number 7 in the red zone, and number 4 in touchdowns given up per game. Against the run, number 8 in yards per rush, and number 8 in rushing yards per game allowed. But this Buffalo team, they had success on the ground against Kansas City. So for Philadelphia, moving the chains on third downs where the Chiefs are a little bit lackluster, finishing in the red zone. Because the difference between 3 to 7 points against Mahomes literally can be the difference as they've won those 17 straight one-possession games. We saw today that Dan Quinn, and we've seen really the last couple of years, defensive coordinators really load up the line and blitz the heck out of Jalen Hurts. Today, I thought he made some good checks and audibles. He made some good decisions against the blitz. Steve Spagnuolo, one of the top overall coaches in the NFL. He is going to try to confuse Jalen Hurts in this game, and Kellen Moore and Hurts have to find answers. Hots, safety valves, checks. Chiefs special teams, great. Spags, again, elite coach. He's going to get creative and exotic with blitz calls and disguises. And really, when you play the Chiefs again, you have to win on the margins. 17 straight wins in one-possession games. It's crazy. This Chiefs offensive line, they have Joe Thuney at left tackle. He's a guard. And so that could be a matchup that favors the Eagles here. And look, if the Eagles defense plays the way that they've been playing, if the Eagles offense plays up to their standard, I think the only way the Eagles lose the Super Bowl is if they beat themselves. They can beat Kansas City. I think back to Super Bowl 57, Chiefs won 38-35. Eagles had 417 total yards to the Chiefs 340. They had 302 passing yards to the Chiefs 182. Eagles ran it for $115. Chiefs ran it for $158. The Eagles were hurt by that Chiefs ground attack. Patrick Mahomes had one incompletion in that second half. It was on a throwaway. Jonathan Gannon was getting schooled by Andy Reid. Chiefs, 6.4 yards per play. Philadelphia, 5.8. But the Eagles had 25 first downs to the Chiefs' 21. The Chiefs were 4 of 8 on third downs. The Eagles were 11 of 18. Eagles had 72 total plays. The Chiefs had 53. Eagles gave up 2 sacks. The Eagles got no sacks of Mahomes. Have to get to Mahomes in this game. Both teams punted twice. Chiefs had a huge Kadarius Toney return that flipped the momentum of the game. And the Eagles lost the turnover battle 1-0. It was the Jalen Hurts strip, Nick Bolton scoop and score touchdown. Eagles also won time of possession by 11 minutes. They outplayed Kansas City, but the Kansas City Chiefs still won that game. Obviously a different team then and different teams then compared to now. But the identity and how the Chiefs win games is still the same. That Chiefs defense was a different unit then, but Jalen Hurts did fare well against Spags. He had 304 passing yards, 27 of 38, a touchdown through the air, 15 carries for 70, 3 touchdowns. So Hurts accounted for nearly 400 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. But the Eagles then did not have Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. 7 for 21, 7 for 16, 3 for 8. It's going to have to be a Saquon Barkley game once again. Devontae Smith, 7 catches for 100. A.J. Brown, 6 for 96. Goddard had 6 for 60. You're thinking about these numbers, and I'm reading them out. It's wild that the Eagles lost that game. But they lost the game because they couldn't get stops late, couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop Mahomes, got burned on special teams once, got burned in the red area, and the James Bradbury hold. PTSD. I still have nightmares about it. But the Eagles outplayed Kansas City in that game. They still lost. And so that's why I make that point. It has to be a firm point that you have to win this game on the margins. It's the little things that you have to do against Kansas City. Buffalo, they can't beat Kansas City in the playoffs because they never do those small, minute things. So Eagles, Chiefs, Super Bowl 59, a rematch of Super Bowl 57. Myself and Chip, we're going to be going to New Orleans. That trip starts next Sunday, a week from now. And so we'll provide you with great coverage down there. And every day in the lead up to that, the best Eagles coverage right here on YouTube. FKC, beat KC. This is the Eagles here. Let's go Birds.